live on episode 114 of SEO Talk Spaces. Back with an interesting topic again, SEO audit in the age of AI. All of us who have been in SEO, whatever amount of time we have spent, we have done SEO audits. There have been playbooks that we have been using, reusing the same, but are those playbooks still relevant? Or are we going to build a new playbook? We are going to talk about that and much more on today's SEO Talk Spaces. Along with me, I have my good friend and co host of SEO Talk Path, and let's dive into it.
Thank you, Malarme. Thank you for setting up the stage. And to our regular attendees, sorry we missed last 2 weeks because I'm traveling, time zone differences, all of that. But finally, I'm here, and so good to be back. Uh, and yeah, so today's session is all about how to do audits in the age of AI. And in the classical SEO era, we chased keywords, we chased backlinks, we were chasing exact match anchor text and whatnot. But since last year and a half, since there are the generative experience, the AI overviews, the deep mode and whatnot, uh, brand mentions is one specific thing which is becoming very relevant. The overall brand authority leg of SEO. We had domain authority, we had topical authority, and now brand authority is also very, very important. So let's dig into it today, and how to do audit for brand mentions, how they influence AI SEO or GEO, AEO, LLMO, whatever you call it, and what strategies SEO should look forward to adopt to. Let's get into it. Over to you,
Oh,
Malabai.
super. Thank you so much for setting the context and we say it every time. Please come on the stage, share your thoughts. Consider this more as a conversation between friends, brainstorming on a certain topic, and there are no wrong answers here. We all will stick to our respective positions. We don't bite, we don't hold grudges. So do not let it bother you. All right. So just come on the stage, share your thoughts, share your perspective. Even if you have some a basic idea of the topic, that is also fine, right? So just don't hesitate to come online. All right. And as usual, we'll start with the basics first and go deeper into it. So my first question that comes across right now is from a very AI, SEO, or like you mentioned, all the different names of what we are calling SEO these days. What exactly does a brand mention mean, and why is it different from a backlink or something that we used to get earlier?
Yep. Uh, okay. So why why brand mention is important? The the fundamental reason would be, as I mentioned, we have to take brand authority very, very seriously if we want to play this organic search or generative engine experience thing. And we cannot ignore in this 2024, 2025, 2026, last year, this year, next year, we cannot ignore it. And a brand mention is important because It is an instance where the brand alignment, the product alignment, the, the exact target audience who you want to target, whether they are referring to your brand online or not. Now, it could be in two formats. It could be just a citation, just a mention without link, or it could be with link. With link is always helpful because SEO fundamentals are going nowhere. But unlike backlinks, mentions feed the AI system how LLMs are trained, and they get to know that, hey, this particular brand is getting uh, cited multiple times on multiple different platforms. And the search system, which is showing up the synthesized answer on Google's LLM, gets to know the depth of your brand authority and relevance, which is more than beyond backlinks. So this is brand mention is very, very important, and we cannot ignore it for sure.
Brilliant. Okay. I don't know if anyone else has a different perspective or if they want to add. Please feel free to do so. Just come online. I have shared the invite to all of you. So coming back on the topic, and while brand mentions definitely and the signals are kind of indicative in terms of your authority, trust, etc. Uh, but if I had to go deeper and say, how do brand mentions actually influence the entire AI driven results or AI answers, if we have to put it from that perspective?
Oh, interesting question. There are multiple ways to look at it, understand it. So let's consider the Google AI reviews or ChatGPT answers. How does it retrieve? So these AI systems are uh, heavily dependent on co-occurrence and entity relationships. So we all know about entity SEO. How do we optimize entities? And it's not about links because it doesn't crawl URLs. It doesn't. It crawls the whole website, content, chunks of content, different sections of a particular landing page, particular blog page. So these pointers are very, very important. So contextually strong mentions help these LLM models to understand who your brand is for and where does it fit in the whole spectrum. Now, to share an example here, it's similar to how people call out names in a group chat, not by who shouted the loudest, that would be a backlink, but by whose name got mentioned most often in the conversation. If we could relate to that analogy.
That was a wonderful one, actually. So, because most of us focus on shouting the loudest rather than looking at the frequency in terms of how many times we are called out. Fantastic. All right, let's move forward. And this one is more from a audit standpoint, right? So, uh, what should an ideal brand mention audit the entire process look like from benchmarking to ongoing tracking?
Oh, this is really interesting because I started exploring this side of uh, audits, this side of brand mention audits, because I've been using a couple of tools which tracks prompts and AI visibility, and there is one particular angle to all of this tool. So let me give you an example. I'm referring to this tool called Visto. It's getvisto.com. So along with the bunch of prompts that you want to track for your brand and your competitor brands, and what is the repeated citations and all of that, the thing that I get to know is there's a section called sentiment analysis. So the complete audit of your brand, where your brand is being mentioned, who is mentioning it, how are they mentioning it, is it positive, neutral, negative, and not only that, we should keep a track of new mentions, the mentions that we had earlier. Have we lost any mentions? And we used to do this brand mentions only for link building activities in the past, that hey, unlinked brand mention, backlink acquiring strategy. But now that is more relevant, not just to acquire links, that could be a secondary metric, but just to understand the trend of the mentions that we have been getting for last month, last quarter, last couple of years. So it's like a health checkup for your brand. Uh, not just about checking the pulse, but also about checking the reputation markers for your brand.
Okay, so uh, let me ask you this, and I know most of the folks who are here right now or probably will listen to this on a recording. Do we still do link building and track all the link building activities?
Yes. So link building activities, sure, we can still do that. So link building is relevant for normal SERP result, where still there are 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 blue links visible on the SERP. And other websites mentioning your website with a link is going to help for sure. In a way that backlinks are still important to consider whether a page must be referred or not, and it's fundamental. So it's not going anywhere. But more than that, uh, wherever there is UGC content, does your brand get mentioned? Uh, so that is very important community where people are speaking on Reddit or any particular. It's a health niche. There are very specific health forums, real estate. So it's now industry specific. And let's take an example of this Rise at 7 digital PR agency, um, run by Kerry Rose and the folks out there. I've been meeting them multiple times. I've been attending their talks, their sessions, and the conference. And what I get to know is it's all about being visible in that category. So if someone is searching a common term in that category, your brand name should come up. It should be so relevant. So creating, building categories, category first marketing approach, and that will include obviously the digital PR. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. And I was going to also ask you this in terms of uh, you also mentioned about unlinked brand mention just before a few minutes. So, thing is, from an SEO point of view, does is that a soft signal at the best, or it holds a lot more value right now, even an unlinked brand mention?
Uh, an unlinked brand mention holds equivalent or more value, but it's more about not just a single mention, it's more about the multiple occurrence of uh, so your brand should get mentions consistently and frequently enough. It shouldn't be like that. Like your brand is getting 5 mentions this week, you should get 10 next week, 15 the third week, 20 next week. You should get 5 mentions consistently week over week. That's very much important. And it should be in a positive way. I'll say negative publicity will also show up your brand, but obviously that's not going to get you business. So we need positive publicity, positive mentions. Yeah, if your something is broken and if your brand is infamous, it will get initial traction. But yeah, that would be popular in a negative way. But yeah, it's important.
Okay. So, because this was kind of a segue to the next question in terms of uh, what are the typical metrics or dimensions that we should be tracking now, right? Because AI or within AI SEO, there could be different signals which should we should be looking at.
Yes. So I'll just put it in a way. So because we have been referring to the DADR, the domain authority, the domain rating metrics. So let's look at from that angle. A website having 10 out of 10 DS score or 10 out of 10 DR score is mentioning your brand in a negative way can hurt more than 5 smaller blogs praising your brand. So it's like not how many times your name is called out in a party, but it's how they talk about you when you are not in the room. Because you're not getting a backlink, but you are getting mentions. So that is how uh, it matters. And so bottom line, focus on sentiments, uh, context, frequency, relevance, topic alignment. So it helps you not only check how often your brand is mentioned, but how it is perceived, what is the sentiment as well.
Okay, it is getting interesting, and what I'm thinking right now is, so you also mentioned about mentions or the lost mentions or mention getting weakened, if I can put it in that way. So, one is how can someone detect lost mentions and say someone found them? How can we capture them back? Two part to the question. If I can probe your
Yeah,
mind a little.
no, this is very very crucial, and so as SEOs, like we get a lot of distraction. Like we are involved in a lot of distraction, and we just focus in one way. And let's go out and let's get mentions, let's get backlinks, let's do this, let's do that. But it's also important to track the efforts of what we've done in the past, the backlinks that we have, the mentions that we have got so far. So tracking them, maintaining them, understanding the trends. So if a publication updates their article and removes your brand, then it is important for you to investigate into it. Why did they remove it? Don't you have the latest statistics or numbers? Probably you update your content and reach out to them again. Hey, my content is up to date. Can you reinsert or replace with an updated resource? So that's one way of looking at it. There are tools like HF's Content Explorer, other brand mention alerts tool. There's Google Alerts tool as well. You can use whatever you want. Build your own vibe coded stuff as well, and yeah, you're good to go. But tracking brand mentions is very important, and keeping a very neat and clean dashboard which gives you, hey, these are the brand mentions that you have got in the past, and how do you maintain it, and what are the steps you need to take. So yeah.
Nice one. And if I have to sum up some of the stuff that you mentioned so far, there was one part of it is, say, you develop trust, authority, etc. It's basically expertise, authority, trust, etc. The other part is also experience. Now, both those as a function are probably still little abstract, right? So if someone has to literally say that, okay, there's a good experience of a site, right? What does that mean? And the meaning of experience from a person A to a person B could be different. So from that point of view, it is still abstract. So if a brand has to audit some of those features and little more abstract features, are they actually measurable, or they are still buzzwords at this point of time?
Oh, this is a very fantastic, like a very good question. I can clearly say that, hey, until unless you're not getting any negative answers, but if people are curious, people are confused about your brand and offering, there's still a way to go. You can go out there, explain things, and even if you're getting negative, this thing, there is a proper way to manage it. And I think so. We have been doing it in the past. Those who have worked on the ORM, online reputation management campaigns. So there is a very good approach to handle it. But yeah, if you go out there in the community, Reddit, Quora, whatever forums, you'll get to know that, hey, your people are confused about your product featuring, people are confused about this, that, until and unless they are considering your product, trying it out, it's it's good for you that you are in that buzzword. People are considering you with the chance. They're trying out your product. That means half the job is done. You just need to go out, talk to get your different functions together, your engineering team, your sales team, and get the right communications and messaging out, fix your product features, and yeah, that's a very good way to approach.
Okay, nice one. And I know I kind of put you on a spot with that question, but I just wanted to probe your mind a little more. And so, Pratik, Rohit, Rahul, if you have a question and if you want to just treat the question, that is also fine. And if you want to come up on the stage and ask it, uh, I will prefer that. All right. But whatever is convenient, right? We are okay with whatever helps you. All right. Uh, so we talked about this, right, in terms of say the brand perception, right? Again, because we got back into the experience and expertise part of it, and the end goal is basically brand perception. How does someone perceive your brand to be? And like you mentioned, right, content which says, say, your brand is better than this, etc., right? And you also mentioned about digital PR. Now the important question that comes from a very marketing standpoint or a business standpoint is, who will own it? Who will own brand perception? Will that be the SEO team, or will it be the PR team, or both have to work together?
Uh, I would not be ever on the end of owning that. But yeah, because as SEOs, we have been getting a lot of ownership of technicalities, the technical SEO part of things, and already having our bit of things with the developer. But yeah, having said that, we should we should work on figuring out why is why our brand is getting mentioned frequently, what are the sentiments, and propose a business case where, hey, if you uh, talk to the communications team, branding team, that hey, this is hurting our SEO. This thing, show it with business numbers, and you are good to go. I know there are no direct metrics to show, but yeah, there are ways to uh, show up your visibility through, like, hey, we are missing out on this visibility, our competitor is getting this visibility. These could be the X amount of mentions, visibility, impressions, traffic, referral traffic, and all of that. Yeah, that should be a good approach, I think so.
Okay. All right. I was just going through if Pratik, Rohit, Rahul. Okay, nothing here. Right. Let me move to the next one in that case and see. Yes, you also mentioned, continue in the same vein. Okay, the brand perception bit. So, uh, how do you spot misinformation or weak narratives in brand mentions, right? So we talked about how you can recapture, etc. But what if there is a misinformation? And if I can add to it, in terms of, say, earlier, you also used to have something called, say, broken link building, right? So we did all kind of stuff. So in that case, right, or what is an equivalent of a broken link building here? If we can probably touch upon that.
Yes. Uh, so specifically, mentioning about broken link building. So it's about similar to missing out the brand mentions. Um, and if we look at from the other instance, so let's check out our competitors. If there are pages where the competitor was getting mentions, but their pages are broken, it's a good way to reach out to those publications that hey, the brands that you've been mentioning does not offer the feature, or you are pointing to a black hole, like where it doesn't make sense to uh, pointing to a page where they do not have any offerings or the page is down. So that's a very good way to sneak in and get your positioning. And at the same time, there's a win-win situation. You go out there, help the publication to fix broken things on their pages as well. But open to thoughts from Rohit, who is also on the panel with us.
Sorry, I missed the last bit. Can you repeat?
Hello.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, Rohit, just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry, I missed that last bit. Uh, yeah,
so
Parth.
sure. So, what I was mentioning is that if we uh, keep a track of not only our mentions but competitor mentions, and when we check that hey, competitors are getting mentioned from these authority publications, We also keep a check that those publications are legit and uh, the publications mentioning those competitors are pointing to the right page. But if an important page of one of our competitors goes down, that would clearly mean that the mentions that were pointing from those authority publications is also down. So you see that, hey, Wall Street Journal or CNN or any other website has pointed to a 404 page of our competitors. That's a great opportunity to sneak in, bounce back, and reach out to those websites. Hey, you are pointing to a dead page, and yeah, so that's a one of the ways to get those broken link mentions.
All right, cool. Yes, Rohit, sorry. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Parth. Hi, Malhar. So, one thing I wanted to ask, the one activity we used to do in traditional SEO also, we used to reach out to the website, the listicle kind of website that are already ranking top 10 yoga classes, top 10 XYZ services, and try to get our brand or link mention from the listicle. So, I just wanted to ask what you think for this, and does having a link also apart from brand mention that will that help anything additional with the GEO, specifically the GEO and LLM visibility?
Yeah, sure. A backlink is also a mention, but a mention is not a backlink. I hope you get my point. And um,
Yeah.
so if you still see that, hey, your Google CRP competition landscape still shows up blue links. If you're still getting organic traffic through your top three rankings, top five rankings, and you do not have AI overviews or any knowledge panel graphs or anything showing up, which is taking away your CTR, pure play game of
Mm.
backlinks is still there. You can go out and build backlinks. There are a lot of SaaS players like uh, I'll give the example of meme generator, um, sign a PDF, a lot of micro SaaS tools still out there. Still, there's a competition, and yeah, it works.
Okay. Mhm.
All right, thanks, Rohit. And I, from a in a long-term perspective, right? How do brand mention integrate with or disrupt some of the traditional SEO tactics, right? Rohit also alluded to one of it, but in terms of a larger SEO schematics, uh, how will the brand mentions integrate with or disrupt some of those traditional ways?
Oh, that's a fantastic one. I would say over a period of time, brand mentions would become as critical as backlinks were in the classical SEO era of ranking. So, as backlinks were to ranking, like mentions would be equivalent for retrieval. So, if you want your answer to be retrieved by AI systems, brand mentions would be very, very crucial. Uh, so, sites with consistent positive brand mentions, let's take example of Shopify or Zapier, they'll keep on dominating the AI and uh, the synthesized AI answers in the CRP, even without having heavy link velocity. So i- it's it's going to be more important than ever, I would say.
Okay, I know I'm stretching with one more, and because this kind of just popped up in my mind, and I probably you can just spend last 1 minute in terms of, are we overcomplicating SEO right now, or do you think SEO will move away from whatever we had a very checklist based approach so far?
Oh, this is $1 million question. In whatever is going on for last 6 to 12 months. So two things: those who are still confused what's going on in the AI space, and you are still scratching your head around and not doing anything, I would still say do all traditional SEO, do your on page SEO, do your technical SEO. Just focus on those two. Make sure you uh, check mark all the checklist of on page SEO. Whether you're working for a SaaS or an e-commerce or a B2B, whatever you're working on, just make sure your fundamental SEO is top notch, is on point until you go out and understand what's going on in the AI space, what's going on in the geo space. What I've been observing is SEO professionals with who have just started their career, probably 2 3 years of experience, whatever. Like they are just stuck in between. They cannot go ahead and do the heavy lifting of AI systems. At the same time, they have stopped doing traditional SEO as well. Traditional SEO is still there, is the fundamental you need. So there were search engine bots who were crawling your website. Now there are AI bots who are crawling your website. So you need to make your website technically, from a technical SEO standpoint, you need to make it really focused and should be working out there. And at the same time, um, there would be a part of your website, pages of your website, which would still be receiving traditional organic traffic. So why to lose on it until you get on the bandwagon? Because doing GEO, it's not only the key area of SEO. Like you need to get a lot of parties on the same table. Uh, Branding, communication, the PR team. If you're working in an enterprise company, you need to make sure everyone is on the same page and you have a singular strategy moving forward, and other departments and functions supporting you. So it's a whole uh, lot of team effort. But until unless you get that buy-in and check-in from your senior leaders, like you shouldn't stop doing your traditional SEO. And still, there are ways to do CRO. Like ask this question: like, are you making the most out of your organic traffic? Is your brand making the most out of your organic traffic? You can do a lot of A/B tests. You can do a lot of amendments on your on-page content, the UX, and play around with a lot of things to get insights and optimize your content. So yeah, you have your website, your pages in front of you. You can still go out and play around and test your content and make sure it's performing.
Okay, so stick to basics, or rather, I would say, ensure your basics are extremely strong. Uh, then start looking at the AI SEO bit. If I understood what you said correctly, because I know people just getting on the bandwagon of AI SEO and feel like, okay, I'm bombarded with someone saying this, other person saying that, and it's too confusing. So, and it is going to remain for a little while until people start understanding what is working, what is not working. Everyone is creating their uh, own resources in terms of understanding what is right. Someone is experimenting. For someone, the experiments are working well, and they are sticking to that game. So Yeah, everyone is figuring out, if I can put it that way. And if you want to know more, definitely keep joining the spaces, because we will also try to figure it out every Monday along with you guys. And with that, we wrap up on this edition.
I'll just say that if backlinks were the currency of classic SEO, brand mentions might be the narrative currency for AI SEO or GEO or LLM or AEO, whatever you call it. And these brand mentions would be richer, more contextual, and harder to fake, which is very important. As we as SEOs found out n number of ways to fake backlinks, but brand mentions is one thing which would be very difficult to fake. And as we adopt into the AI search, our challenge would not be just getting links, but being talked about in the right context with clarity, authenticity, and authority. And yeah, so we'll have to
Part, part you have
upskill.
mentioned. You have mentioned one tool for brand monitoring, or can you repeat that? I think I
Sure,
missed it.
sure. It's the name of the tool is Visto, Visto, getvisto.com.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. If you happen to take a demo for that, there's a guy called Gianni, Gianni.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a very good guy. Will give you a fantastic demo of the product and probably will give you a free trial for a couple of weeks as well. So, yeah.
Uh, yeah. Thank you. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thank you,
Mhm.
Malarbai, for hosting and glad I could join today. And it was lovely starting my Monday with a SEO talk.
All right, cool. Lovely day and a week ahead. All right, bye.